Today's review here at Master Hobbies, we have the SIG 516 Tactical Patrol. It is made by King Arms, so the internals, externals are going to be really good. Nice and reliable. King Arms is usually pretty dependable in their internals. And it's officially licensed by Cybergun/Spartan Imports. So, you know, it's got all the authentic trades. So let's take a closer look at this thing. Starting the front here, we have the orange flash hider. There's no way around it. Here in the United States, you know, we got to sell with the orange flash hider. It is a 14mm counterclockwise underneath. It also has some nice cast trades in there, you know, NATO 5.56, 1 and 7 twist, and it's upside down. Just flip your monitor upside down because it's just quicker that way. Government profile barrel, and up here we have the gas block. It mimics the gas regulator of the real one. The real 516 is sort of like the HK 416, which is a gas piston gun instead of gas impingement like the M4. So it has this piston, imitation piston system up there, which is kind of neat. I think there's a little spring back here and all that. Kind of hard to get on video, but it's there. So this gas block, top is railed, and we have a little mock gas regulator. Again, it's an AEG, so it does nothing, but on the rail one you had, you know, your standard gas usage where if you cleaned it all the time, and if the gun was getting dirty, you can increase the gas pressure, and there's also, if you turn it all the way, it shuts it off. So say you're shooting a rifle grenade, or if you wanted to just shoot it and cock it every time, I guess you can do that too. I'm assuming one of the gas modes is for using a suppressor, but again, it's Airsoft. None of that really, you know, makes a difference. It's just cool that they put a little regulator thing on the front. Bottom of the gas block here, we have the bayonet lug. Any M4 bayonet fit right on. The sight looks like a Troy battle sight. It's not marked as such, but I looked online at the real SIG, and it has unmarked flip-up sights as well that are like Troy's. I know this rail kind of looks like a Troy rail. It kind of escapes me right now which model it would be. So, I mean, SIG is in New Hampshire and Troy is in the western part of Massachusetts. They could have collaborated a little bit on some of the accessories, so, you know, maybe. But you got your Troy-style battle sights, fold down, so when you have your scope or your red dot or whatever, you know, doesn't impede. And you flip right up. Not spring-loaded, they flip up. You know, adjustable for elevation. The rear one, adjustable for windage. And it's also a Troy-style battle sight, dual aperture. And it's pretty nicely finished because it's, you know, it's King Arms and they do good quality work. Also comes with a sling, QD sling swivel. There's a spot up there. There's a spot right here. There's a spot right here, like on the VFC SR15, SR16s. You also have a spot in the stock as well. Let's put that back there so we get out of the way. The rail looks pretty cool. Like I said, I think it's a Troy rail, but I mean it's labeled SIG. It is marked on all sides, you know, with trades and position markings for your pec box and scope and whatnot. The imitation gas rod is inside, along with 1, 2, 3, 4 QD sling mounts. You know, if you were to take it off, there's your Allen screws and whatnot to take it off. Looks nice. It's got a nice sort of matte coating on it. Has a notch just like on the 416. Little key to help it from will prevent it from rotating. So that's always cool when they put that on there. It's nice and flush as well. So it's nice and monolithic. Let's see what else we got here. The lower receiver is pretty chunky compared to a regular M4, which is pretty cool. A little more robust looking, a little meaner looking. The front we got some little serrations, help for grip. We also have your trademark channel. Just kind of angle this so you can kind of see them better. Just a light. I think if you fill those in with white paint or like gray paint, they'd stand out, look pretty cool. Right over here, because this is a full ambi gun, nice ambi mag release. It feels nicer than the one on my VFC RSR-15. So, it's articulated versus the SR-15 style, sort of like pushing on a lever, pushing on another lever, where this is nice and much more positive. There's no sort of little gate around it, but the way that they did it, it's probably not going to pop out like the SR-16 mags do. SR-16 style does, I should say. Ping pong paddle, it has a functioning mock bolt catch. Fire selector, your standard stuff. Standard A2 handguard, standard trigger and trigger guard. Magazine is the SIG 5.56 style magazine. If you look on SIG's site, the 5.16 has like a regular Stenag mag in it. But it's kind of cool they give you this one. They don't give you the little adapter to mount two together, unfortunately. But these aren't, these are high caps. You don't need to mount two of these together. If they were mid caps, I could see including that piece. But, but they're pretty faithful to replicas of it. They look to be the same that was in that SIG 5.56 that King Arms came out with last year or the year before, which was a pretty cool gun in its own right. And it's a high cap, so windy wheel. Stickers of do not point at your face and made in Hong Kong and all that other stuff that you can take off as soon as you buy it. The upper receiver is standard M4. And going towards the back here, the stock is just, it's crazy wobbly. For such a expensive gun and nicely finished in the rest of the gun, they kind of dropped the ball with the stock. The real one comes with a kind of a cool looking stock with like a opening in the center, but I have no idea where they got this stock, and it doesn't fit on their buffer tube, which is kind of crazy because I've had King Arms guns in the past, and the stock's usually nice and tight and they fit on good, but not this stock. I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is. And it's kind of funky. I'll show you some qualms about the stock a little later. But it does have a cutie sling loop. So yeah, hey, you can turn the monitor back over because there you go. There's your little trademarks up there, or not trades, but So this side we have standard M4 style layout, with the mag release there, but ambidextrous. This a little different than the VFC style. The way they did it, it's actually easier to get the gearbox in and out of one of these than it is out of a VFC with the ambidextrous fire selectors. So it's got that going for it. So it's not too bad to work on one of these guns. King Arms are really reliable. I've gotten like a few as gifts to people because I know they're not going to break and I don't have to fiddle with them. So, charging handle is an imitation bolt, hop up. So, towards the gun, more hop. Back, less hop. Pretty standard stuff. Standard upper, just an A2 upper. So, let's look at that stock because it's my only point of contention here. Oh, also the stock itself has these nice cutouts, which makes it nice and easy. Where you're wiring, but it's pretty deep. You can actually fit a 1200 milliamp LiPo in there. I actually fit like an 11.1 1200 in one of these earlier, and it goes right in. You have no, you actually have a little bit of room to fit your Tamiya connector in there. But if you're using 11.1, just don't use Tamiya connectors. They'll burn right out. These are rated for 10 amps. Dean says they have a minimum of like 60 or 100 or whatever his crazy thing is, with Dean. So, it's a good worthy upgrade if you use an 11.1. So, let's look at the stock. Only thing I don't like about the gun, kind of a disappointment. So, unlike the standard sort of LMT sort of SOP mod stocks that you've been seeing going around, you can't put the batteries in the back. You pop the back off, and even though it's hinged and you think it did no. So, so on the front you have these guys. Remember these? You probably lost them. So you take those out, and then you put your battery in here with the power connector towards the end first, and slide it in, and then it's just a bad design. I don't know what they were thinking. It's just not good. I mean, if it was realistic, like the real one, but the real one doesn't come with the stock. It comes with a different stock, and it's wobbly. So, you know, I don't know. I sold one earlier, and then we sold a Magpul CTR stock on it, which was easy to do because the battery fits right in the buffer tube, because the buffer tube is nice and big. So, you know, my advice, buy the gun, get an awesome stock. Just, you know, I don't know what they were thinking on this one. But other than that, the gun's awesome. So, let's chrono this thing. I'm chronoing with Elite Force 0.2 gram BBs. I didn't mention the Chrono Test, but I was using a 9.6 volt battery, so that's 1,000 rounds per minute with the 9.6, which is, well, that's more than respectable. It's pretty fast on a 9.6. The velocity was a little high. Most of the fields in our general vicinity are 400 with 0.2, and that was 410 to 415 with 0.2. After a few thousand rounds, spring should bed in and, you know, weaken to the point, you know, where it's gonna be sort of its velocity that it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be, and it should get down to around 400. You could help it along its way, you know, shoot it in full auto a couple times with the pistons retracted, and, you know, leave it overnight, a couple nights, and that'll help wear the spring in, or break the spring in, sort of, you know, artificially, which it works. It does, you know, it does work. So, you know, to get it down right at 400. There are a couple fields in New England where you can do 400 with .25s, and that's not an issue with this gun. We did test the CQB version. This is the Tactical Patrol, and the CQB is a 10-inch barrel. It has the same gearbox. It has the same ported cylinder, but it has a shorter barrel, and it shot around 385. So, you know, you could put a shorter barrel in, but I think just over a few thousand rounds, your spring should bed in, and it should be fine. But other than that, really cool gun. You know, aside from the couple issues with the stock, but, you know, some hockey tape will make that nice and tight. Or you could get cool Magpul stock, you know, while Magpul lasts, if you've been reading the forums. But yeah, you know, if you're looking for any cool M4s or any cool other guns, we have them here at Master Hobbies. We're at 565 Main Street in Cherry Valley, Massachusetts. Open 6 days a week, 11 to 6, Monday through Saturday.